Battlefield 6 looks to be a live service game that could be around for years to come, and in a little bit we'll delve further into that and why this looks to be the case, and also whether it's a good thing for the franchise or not. So firstly, I'm a little bit late to the party with this one, but earlier this week we had the EA investors call, which gave us a few tidbits of information about the upcoming Battlefield game. Now obviously, a lot of us fully expected to see a trailer or at least a teaser of some sort, and lots of things pointed to this. There were multiple leakers stating that this was the case, people seemingly leaked the entire audio of the trailer online, even the creators of the audio track itself tweeted out saying, "Happy Monday, 2 new game trailers with our music coming this week." So obviously we all figured, one of them has to be the Battlefield trailer, right? Wrong. We now know that those 2 trailers were for the Amazon Prime show Solos and the new Assassin's Creed Valhalla expansion. But I can understand how the timing of that tweet threw everybody off, and then we heard that DICE have pushed EA Play from June back to July 22nd, meaning we will be getting our first glimpse of the new Battlefield title in June as they build up to EA Play in July. However, as I said, we did get some new bits of information from the investors call, most of which you've probably already heard, but I just wanted to quickly run over them. So the big takeaway, I would say, is the confirmation that the game will be coming to past-gen consoles, that is to say the PS4 and Xbox One, as well as obviously the PS5, Xbox Series X and PC. Although I think it's safe to say that it will be downscaled for the past generation, most likely by half the player size. So in the Q&A section, one of the investors asked how DICE were planning to balance that and voiced his concerns about some newer titles being too ambitious for the older gen consoles. Andrew Wilson, the CEO of EA, basically answered this, saying that they have years and years of experience releasing games on multiple generations of hardware and that will serve them well. They've also released FIFA and Madden for the next gen consoles, and they've gained a lot of learning from that experience that they will apply to their other games, and they're among them Battlefield. He also stressed that the game will be developed specifically around the features for next-gen players. In fact, the phrase next-gen appears no less than 13 times in the entire audio transcript, so they're really trying to push that. Okay, so apart from that tidbit, we didn't really get any new major information that we haven't already heard, but the way they talked about their franchises and the way they compared their sports games like Madden and FIFA or Apex Legends to Battlefield was honestly quite eye-opening and really gave a glimpse into their mindset for what they're planning to do with Battlefield this year. I think their plan is to make Battlefield their only Battlefield title for at least a few years to come, with a fully functioning live service, a free-to-play Battle Royale mode to attract more players, and of course, the mobile offering that we've already heard about. I very seriously doubt that we will be getting a brand new Battlefield game in 2023 or even 2024, unless it's a spin-off made by a separate company, kind of like how they did with Hardline. So throughout this earnings call, Andrew talks a lot about how much money Apex Legends has made for the company and generally how successful it's been, and how they want to apply this as a blueprint across all their major franchises, one of those obviously being Battlefield. So here's a direct quote. "Our strategy is to grow Battlefield as we have with our other blockbuster franchises like FIFA and Apex. Best-in-class gameplay, deeply engaging live service, a new mobile experience, and more ways to play that will introduce to reach more players all over the world." Now towards the end of the conference there was a Q&A section, and this guy from the Benchmark company had a very interesting question, and he asked, if you see an opportunity to annualize the premium experience, obviously you've done well with that in sports, and prior to Battlefield I think you had some experience with the Battle Royale mode. I'm curious if that's still a consideration for you and for the franchise moving forward. And Andrew replies saying, nothing to announce at the moment on either an annualized release of Battlefield and or the nature of the game modes in the upcoming Battlefield game. So he doesn't exactly straight up say no to a Battle Royale mode, which in my mind kind of confirms it more than it denies it, but of course nothing is certain. And then he follows up on that saying, there's some very innovative and creative modes for the future of the franchise. The other thing that you should know, and I talked about this in my prepared remarks, is that we do have a blueprint, which is how we start with a AAA premium experience that is truly innovative in its category. how we build out our live service for long-term engagement, and then how do we think about modalities of play in business models to further extend our reach and penetration of that game on a global basis across platforms, across geographies, and across business models. And so you'll hear that a lot from us in the months ahead. But I would finish by saying we're really excited about Battlefield. Everything I've seen in the game is spectacular. And I think it's going to be an amazing relaunch of that franchise this year and lead us into an incredible live service for the future. So a relaunch, he calls it, with an incredible live service for the future. That speaks to me that this is going to be taking Battlefield in another direction when it comes to its business model. Obviously, Battlefield 5 was the first Battlefield game with a live service. Unfortunately, it kind of fell flat on its face, and as a result, the live service dried up and DICE stopped supporting it. This time around, DICE look like they're going to have another crack at it. Also, at the end of that specific question after Andrew replied, Blake Jorgensen, the CFO and COO, said, "We believe we want to give the Battlefield fans many ways to play and let them play for a long time." And I think you'll see that in what we'll talk about in the future. It is an opportunity to extend the Battlefield experience for people because it is such an engaged community. So we have a live service confirmed. EA are talking about this as if it's a community that they want to build up. They want to attract more and more players with different ways to play, different platforms, and with different game modes. On top of this, they've already rumoured that the new game will simply be titled Battlefield, and since Andrew referred to it as a relaunch of the franchise, I think that would make sense. That way they could give a sub-name to perhaps the Battle Royale version of the game, and they can simply call the mobile version Battlefield Mobile. Another thing is that as of yet, we haven't heard any rumours whatsoever of a campaign for the game, and I think that could well be the case. Perhaps there is no campaign, and DICE are just going all in here on the multiplayer live service model. So what are the possible implications of this being the case? Well, like I mentioned earlier on, if this live service model offers us a streamline of new maps, weapons, game modes, and new and interesting ways to play Battlefield, I honestly won't mind it too much, but it could also mean that there won't be a new Battlefield title for quite a few years. Personally, as long as this game is actually good in terms of its gameplay, I don't really have a problem with that. I mean, just look at us all sat here playing Battlefield 4 that's 8 years old. You know, the graphics are still fantastic, it honestly doesn't look like an 8-year-old game, and people still play it because of its gameplay, despite the fact that it hasn't had a drop of content for years and years. So I think if DICE can actually nail this game and make it amazing in terms of its gameplay, they could totally support this as the core Battlefield experience for years to come. Now that being said, they could also go the Call of Duty way, where they have a mobile offering which has obviously been confirmed, a free-to-play Battle Royale offering with a live service and battle passes that's designed to keep rolling year in, year out, and then a new AAA experience every couple of years with top-notch graphics set in a new era with different weapons, vehicles, mechanics, and all the rest of it. In any case, we'll find out a lot more in June. I don't think we'll find out exactly what their business model is. Most likely all we'll see is a little glimpse of what the game looks like, then we'll have to wait until EA Play in July for more solid information. What do you guys reckon? Would you be okay with a live service and one single AAA Battlefield game for the years to come? Or, do you prefer them to release a game every couple of years? Let me know in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, guys. Subscribe for more Battlefield, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.